Hello friends and fellow gamers, it's MKxJUMP here, and in today's video we're checking out this week's event for Idle Heroes. And I think this week's event marks a huge change for the Idle Heroes game. This is history in the making. What we're about to see is an event that will change the way these events are moving forwards, and it's going to make some big differences for mostly endgame players. But before we go and check that out, let me give a shout out to this week's new patrons. So a shout out to Dubshot, Zach Shu, Sinister, and Fabian Meyer. If you want to be like those and help the content I make here by supporting me financially, you can find a link up there in the top corner of the screen or down below in the description. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to check it out, and it also, if you're $3 or higher, gives you access to account reviews over on Discord. And if that's something you want, if you want to get your account checked out by me, maybe it's something worth considering. Anyway folks, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So folks, with a Profit Orb event and Campaign Loot Drop event, it should come as no surprise that every day for logging in, we're going to get ourselves a Profit Orb and this week's currency. You get 100 of it, and that means you're going to get 700 throughout the week just for logging in. And this is a paper kite, so if you ever see a Lutz in the sky, please don't panic or run away, it's just a kite. Unless it's a Transcendence Lutz, which could be a thing at some point in the future. Unlikely, but you know what, I reckon DH Games might actually do it, just because of how funny Lutz is as like a meme hero being the face of the game. That said, they could very well do the same thing to Bade, and honestly, I'd much rather they made Bade a meme hero as a Transcendence hero. That's pretty good. Anyway, let's not talk about that. That's not exactly what we're here to do, so let's move over and go see what's happening over in the actual event. So let's start things off with the value packages. You get gems equal to the VIP experience, you get a bunch of Profit Orbs, that's not bad, and you also get yourself some paper kites. So again, you can purchase these kites, which will allow you to get additional rewards throughout this event. Also, you can pick them up by going to the campaign and pressing loot. As you can see there, I managed to get 19, but you guys can get plenty just for logging in. It's really important that you log in and click on the campaign and press loot and claim it, because you have to be doing it pretty frequently to make sure you can get the most stuff. And you could potentially get 2,400 of them, which is not bad. 2,300 is generally what you want to expect as a free-to-play player, but it's not hard to get 2,400. Some people even stretch up to 2,600 if they're lucky. But what does that mean? Well, I'll go show you the store in a second. Let's carry on with the packages for this week. The Crystal package here is impressive. This is 50 bucks, and normally 10 Cores of Transcendence will just set you back 50 bucks on their own. If you go across to the Cool Events Transcendence package, you'll see 50 bucks gets you 10 Cores of Transcendence. So the fact that you can get 10 just from this, alongside 5,000 gems, 300 Universal Crystals, 30 Glorious Relics, and a 5-star Hero Selection chest is pretty impressive. I said this last week, but DH Games really love giving us $50 packages that give us these chests alongside some really interesting rewards. What's important is Glorious Relics and Universal Crystals all make it easier to pick up artifacts, whether it's from the Glorious Boost, which we'll talk about later on, or the store, which again, we'll talk about later on. So these two things together are actually really helpful for getting high-end artifacts, and high-end artifacts are crucial when you want to make the best heroes to clear all the different game modes there are in Idle Heroes. So that could be something worth picking up if $50 is something you're used to spending on this game. Anyway, let's look at the Midsummer supplies. So this is nutty. Never before have DH Games ever given us something that allows us to upgrade our Starspawns at such an insanely cheap price. Normally, you pick these up over in the Gate of the Void for completing the Void Arc. And as you can see, the Void Arc has just completed, which is pretty nice, but the actual rewards that you get, they're actually in the bag. As you can see, there are my exploration rewards, and you do pick up Starspawn cores for doing this. In fact, I've got an egg, but I'm not going to open that now. The whole point of doing that is to pick up those Starspawn things, but when you've got so many Starspawns, it's hard to keep track of how to upgrade them. To upgrade our mage here, who's level 100, you're gonna need the red Starspawn cores to do it. Now, where do you normally get them from? Well, you can't actually get them as rewards. The only way to buy them normally is if you go to the Cool Events, monthly packages, scroll down and take a look at the Void Resource Selection chest. You can also pick them up from Sky Labyrinth, but for that you also need to spend money. So what is this allowing people to do? Well, if you scroll on down and go back to it, taking a look at these Midsummer supplies, you'll see that you can get purple and green ones, which is the fourth and third ones you can pick up. You can get those for gems, and you're going to get 2 for 5 days in a row. So that's 10 each. That's nutty. That's going to allow you to upgrade your heroes. That's super important. Also, if you look at these ones, these replenishing supplies right here, this is going to be a grand total of 10 Starspawn Core 5s and 5 Starspawn Core 6s. That's crazy. In addition, you're going to get universal crystals, which are great. You're going to get 250 of them, and you can use them in any single campaign loot drop store to get more of the currency. It doesn't have to be this week. You can wait for an artifact you prefer. More on that in a second. But this costs 20 bucks, which is... It sounds expensive, I get it, it's quite crazy, but actually it's not that bad when you consider just how much Starspawn cores normally cost. So personally, I am going to be getting this on the VIP series, and I think a lot of people who are looking to advance their Starspawns should consider this. If you're an early game player that spends money and you don't really know what a Starspawn is, trust me, you're going to need this. If you go and watch the VIP series, I was doing things to pick these up early on, even though I hadn't unlocked the Void, and I don't really have that big of a selection of Starspawns. In fact, on the VIP series, I only have 1. So folks, trust me, they are worth getting, and they will help you out. So if you've got 20 bucks to spare and you want to spend it on this event, go ahead, drop it down here. In addition, you definitely need to be buying this with gems. This is just such good value. Pick it up. Now, let's go take a look at the Kite Paradise. This is this week's campaign loot drop event. As you can see, DH Games have also added Starspawn cores as rewards for this. And this is what I mean about history in the making. Never before have DH Games allowed us to get these for free. Well, now you can if you use your universal crystals you've managed to save up. Most people will be asking, is it worth it? Such a debate can be had about whether Starspawns are more important than artifacts, and man, is it tough to say. Picking up artifacts is really important, but also upgrading your Starspawns is something you might want to consider as well. I think a healthy balance between upgrading Starspawns and getting the artifacts you need is where most people should put their priorities. Absolutely, you should be using your Glorious Relics over in the Glorious Boost to pick up all these nice artifacts available here. So that's something we'll talk about in a second. But the Kite Paradise, or any other campaign loot drop event for that matter, is a little more subjective, because you normally have to wait ages for an artifact that you want. Of course, when a Punisher of Immortal does come along, or a Demon Bell, or whatever other artifact you're after, totally go ahead and pick it up. But man, a lot of people are going to be tempted by these Starspawn cores, because 3,000 is a lot more achievable than 3,600, and in addition, it's actually pretty good when you consider that these are going to give you more power for your heroes, because upgrading Starspawns makes your heroes more powerful. One common argument we've always said is it is better to pick up artifacts than hero copies, because at the end of the day, artifacts are forever, heroes aren't. They ebb and flow in and out of the meta. But Starspawns are also forever. They also give stat bonuses, they make your whole team more powerful, and for some people, that's arguably more powerful than an artifact, especially if you already have all the artifacts you need. So I think for a lot of endgame players who've already got themselves established with a bunch of splendid artifacts, this might be for you. Free-to-play players, it's going to be a little more difficult. In fact, Starspawns in general are just quite tricky to upgrade. It does give you a way to pick up all the stuff, and it does make endgame achievable as a free-to-play player. It's just going to take one heck of a long time, and I mean years, if not decades, to get a maxed out full team of 15 E5 heroes, all at Void 4, all with splendid artifacts, and all with these fancy cores on them. So it's going to take a long time for you guys to get there as free-to-play players, but it is attainable. Now, I do know there's mega spenders out there, mega whales that are going to love this. Picking this up is just going to be something great for you guys, so go ahead, enjoy it, go nuts. But I think for most people, it's going to be a conflict. And you're probably thinking, MK, which do I do? Probably saving for artifacts is the better thing, honestly. I think only once you've maxed your artifacts is it going to be better to pick up these Starspawn cores. And the important thing as well is new artifacts do come out, and upgrading them could be pretty important, so that's also worth bearing in mind. Now, if we skip on down, you'll see there's Fiona, there's Morax, there's Sherlock, and now I just don't think it's worth it at all to pick up hero copies, unless, of course, you're a free-to-play player and all you have is 2,300 of these things. In that case, anything above there is not worth it. But if you can afford to go up to 3,000, you should be totally getting Starspawn cores or artifacts. So just ignore these heroes, unless of course you're a free-to-play player that can pick up a Sherlock for free. Even in that case though, most people will probably still be going for Prophet Orbs or Heroic Summon Scrolls if they don't want anything higher up, and that would be my recommendation for most of you guys at home. Now let's take a little look-see at Heroic Miracle. Heroic Miracle is absolutely fantastic, and everyone should be able to attain this as free-to-play players, or even as spenders. So, all you need is 2 Light 5-star heroes, 2 Dark 5-star heroes, 3 Forest, 3 Abyss, 3 Fortress, and 3 Shadow, summoned this week. And if you do all of that, you'll get yourself a copy of Drake for free. For people that are brand new to the game, that don't know this already, you can save heroes as shards, and just pulling them out of here counts as getting them. So I could pull 2 of these Dark Spirits, this Michelle right here, 1 of these Asmodeels, and boom, there's my Light and Dark heroes, and all I have to do then is just pull out heroes from the other factions, and easy peasy, no problem, I've got Heroic Miracle sorted. That is something a lot of you should definitely be doing, so come on guys, if you can't complete Heroic Miracle at this point, you better be getting your head down on it, because Drake is incredible. Drake is a phenomenal hero that debuffs opponents' defenses. He's one of the best heroes in the game, in my opinion. Fantastic in the Void Vortex right now as well. Drake is nuts. I love that I built him on the VIP series. He continuously impresses. And yeah, one of my favorite heroes in the game as well. So grab that Drake, go nuts. And also you get a bunch of armor, you get Heroic Summon Scrolls, you're getting Prophet Orbs too. What more could you ask for? And on the topic of Prophet Orbs, this week is also a Prophet Orb event. Look, for 10 Prophet Orbs, you're getting your 4 stars. For 20, you're getting a Forest hero. For 30, you're getting an Abyss hero. For 40 and 50, you're getting your usual Light and Darks, which will help you complete Heroic Miracle. And finally, for 60 and 80, we are getting 2 Kings of the Abyss faction, Delacium and Waldeck. That's nuts. Both of these heroes are really good in the Abyss faction, and the fact that you can get both of them this event just for a single pass of 80 is wild. Delacium is super awesome, very helpful. A lot of people using multiple Delaciums, not just in Broken Spaces now, or the Flame Shrine, they're using them in the Void Vortex to get extra damage against opponents by mimicking Jara when she's transcended, mimicking her CC to keep opponents CC locked, and then allowing your heroes such as Sword Flash to go in and clean up, or maybe it's an Ithaca. But either way, Delacium is phenomenal if used like that in the Void Vortex. We love to see it. In addition, Waldeck, being the new king of Abyss clears in Sealland, is doing amazing things. I'm actually building one on the VIP series, so being able to pick him up as the brand new hero here in Prophet Orbs is pretty sweet. Also, you get 15 Glorious Relics and a Core of Transcendence, which is fantastic. So if you've got orbs to spend and you haven't already got the 9 copies of Waldeck you need, or if you want maybe more Delaciums, go ahead, use your orbs this event. It will not disappoint. Now, the final things for this week is Almost Workshop is here and it's going to stay for 2 weeks. This is a great place where you can upgrade your artifacts or knock them down and upgrade other ones. Do bear in mind you are going to need to get rid of artifacts to get some of the currency, but it's now up to 60,000, so picking that stuff up shouldn't be too bad if you have artifacts to spare. And you can upgrade any of your normal artifacts into their fancier forms, and these are just really, really good. A lot of them have additional bonuses, which are absolute game changers. Punisher of Immortal, for example, allows you to do way more damage. Really nice, fantastic artifact to have. And yeah, just make sure you're upgrading them, and this is why people pick up multiple copies of those fancier artifacts. Now, I know they are hard to obtain, they are pretty expensive, and most people can't afford to pick them up. That's fine. That's just something you have to accept as a player of this game. But when you do have multiple copies and you've attained them as free-to-play players, which we have seen in the past, it's pretty darn good. Anyway, the Glorious Boost. This is the way to pick these artifacts up as free-to-play players. You're going to need 400 Glorious Relics to cash them in and grab them. And guys, for the first time ever in Idle Heroes history, this is the second thing about something that's a new game changer, is Snowheart is available. A lot of people ask me, MK, is Snowheart good? Now, normally it's been an artifact that has been hidden behind paywalls for eons. Now, if I go to the bag and we take a look at some artifacts and I can show you what a Snowheart does in its upgraded form, you'll see that it slows down opponents. At the start of the battle and at the end of each round, there's a 166 and 33% chance to inflict Frost respectively on the 3 enemies with the highest speed for 1 round. And Frost is going to reduce their speed by up to 60. And that is fantastic in PvP for slowing down opponents, which really messes with a lot of strategies in PvP. More importantly, the new game mode, the Tower of Dream, is horrible to face because enemies are really quick, and that's going to mess with your team because you could get outsped, you might not be doing what you want, and by slowing them down with a Snowheart, it can be pretty good. So, Snowheart is a fantastic artifact for endgame players that want to do really well in PvP, or that want to do really well in the Tower of Dream. If that's something you're interested in, then totally go ahead, pick it up, upgrade it, and get yourself a fancy snow heart. For most people, though, still Punisher of Immortal is fantastic. Demon Bell is great. It's not here this week, but next month it will be around, which is very nice. You got some other artifacts here that are interesting. First of all, Wildfire Torch sucks, don't pick it up. Receptor, fastest artifact in the game. Kiss of Ghost they often give for free, so I wouldn't pick that up. And a Lucky Candy Bar is pretty nice if you want to give yourself some stun immunity, which is good against the boss in the Void Ark. However, I wouldn't go grabbing this. I think the big things here this week are Snow Heart and Punisher of Immortal. If you don't want either of those, just save your relics and wait for next month's Glorious Temple. Anyway, there you go, folks. That's this week's event. Let's go take a look at next week in the event preview. So we have Sky Labyrinth, we have the Mysterious Chest, and this also offers Waldeck. Now that's something really worth thinking about. If you have a bunch of copies of Waldeck and you want to get to 9 to be able to make him E5, you only need to orb to have 8, because remember, you're getting one as a reward for doing 80 Prophet Orbs. And the 9th one you can pick up next week from the Mysterious Chest, and that's going to have Waldeck in it. That's going to have guild coins. It's also going to have glorious relics. That chest is going to be absolutely worth picking up, but do bear in mind it will cost 8,000 gems. So make sure you're saving up your gems this week. In addition, you're going to need a lot of gems for Sky Labyrinth, probably around 4,000. You might not need that many, actually. Some people do get lucky and you only need to use maybe 1,000 at most. But still, bear in mind, you are going to need gems for Sky Labyrinth. So make sure you're saving this week. Don't go too crazy with your gems. Make sure you're probably coming in with about 12,000 if you can, or be prepared to come in with about 8,000, but do save some up next week as well. Now, the Wishing Fountain event is here, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. Horus, once one of the best heroes in the game, in fact, arguably the best first E5 for so many people. Sadly, that was years ago. Now in 2021, he's not really doing much. Eloise, Ithaca, Tix, even on Kiramaru are just better choices for your team. So seeing how Horus is now being given in the Wishing Fountain really sucks, but honestly, it's just what's meant to happen. He's dropped off. He's not as good as he used to be. Sure, he can clear Seal Land, which is cute. But honestly, I don't find it too surprising that he's finally been given in the Wishing Fountain event. For a lot of people that want to build him for nostalgia, great. You can pick up copies with wishing coins. But honestly, I don't know if that's going to be very good. Almost Workshop will carry on over into next week, as will the Glorious Boost. And the final thing that's going to come on in is the new event, Call of Stars. This will celebrate the release of a new Forest Transcendence hero. It's going to be the Fairies Queen, and I imagine it's going to be Vesa. Most of the spoilers have pointed towards her. There's a ton of things that are going to be happening here. Most importantly, the Woodland Store, where you can exchange Fairies Keepsakes, which are an item you can pick up, for items. And this store is probably going to offer an artifact at a discounted price. It might also give a mysterious artifact selection chest. And also, I bet you'll be able to pick up 9-star dummies from this as well, potentially even as a free-to-play player. So make sure you're saving stuff up as we move into whatever the heck this is going to be. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what they're going to reward you for. It may reward you for using mithril pickaxes. I haven't got a clue. But what I can tell you is this event is going to give a lot of nice, juicy stuff. So not only do we have great stuff this week, we have really nice stuff next week as well. Finally, the Transcendence fight is coming on, so if you are a whale, a heavy spender with multiple Transcendence heroes, and you plan on having the next one as well, so you have all 5 Transcendence heroes at that point, do reach out to the community and make sure you're mingling and allowing them to be on your friends lists, because all you have to do is do a friendly match with all 5 of those heroes in, and you guys will, in fact, get all of the rewards. So whether you're a new player or a total endgame player, it's good to have a friend who has this. We know there's loads of people in the community here on our Discord. Go join Reddit, go join Facebook groups. I think Barry will probably be doing it as well. Just reach out to people that can bring you those heroes, and they will just be cycling friends over and over and over and over again just to make sure everybody gets those rewards. So if you're part of this community and you're integrated, you will hopefully be able to get all of the stuff. More on that next week, but whales, do listen up. We need your help with that one. But yeah, there you go. That's next week's event. We've looked at this week's event. Everything looks really good. Don't forget, guys, to cash in your romantic lanterns if you haven't already. And best of luck trying to claim your top rewards. Also, Hopefully you managed to pick up Augustus Magic Ball for free. I know I certainly did, and boy, is that one heck of an artifact. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you want to catch my event reviews more often, be sure to subscribe, and more idle content is coming your way soon. We got a lot of stuff that's been happening this week over on Twitch, which is going to be coming to you guys. Sorry I didn't upload too much this week. It's been one of those weeks. Also because I was ill the week before. I didn't have that much content recorded because I didn't stream as much. Hopefully you guys can understand, but content will resume as normal this week. So guys, buckle yourselves up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. But until next time, guys, let me know in the comments section how your account is looking. Let me know if you enjoy this event. Let me know if you're hyped for next week. And of course, guys, happy idling.